it's time to put the cam bearings in. And you know, when they machine these blocks, you get a little peach fuzz on some parts, and you can feel that. It doesn't hurt anything. This block's already 30 years old. I don't think anything is going to come off and fall in the motor or anything, but uh, I use this thing to run through there and kind of just smooth that stuff off of there. And that's just a 2-inch, what do they call it? BRM or whatever. Little hone type thing. And it kind of cleans everything up there, cleans the bores up, cleans off any peach fuzz, and just makes it mow better. I'm just using some used honing oil from when I changed the oil in the hone last year or year before. So I kept some of the oil for jobs like this. That ought to clean it up a little bit. After I cleaned up the bores with the hone, I wiped them out with rag and got them clean, and then oiled up the bores and the back of the cam bearing to help them slide in, hopefully not have to hammer on them as hard. And they all went in pretty good. The rear was the tightest as usual, as far as how hard you had to hit it to get it in. But they all went in good. He got these trick coated cam bearings with the T on the end. That's their coated bearing. I think they're double money or something. Which sounds good, but I mean, you know, usually these are pretty tight without a coating on them. I can't imagine what they're going to be like with one. You know, like the back end where it goes in so tight, you'll often have to use your bearing knife trying to feel around there and get the spot where you've mushroomed it out a little bit. I'm very upset that I have lost my bearing knife that I bought in 1976. I bought this to replace it, and this might be better. It's very sharp, but I don't care. I want my old one. Old people are, what do you call it, resistant to change. I want my old one. Where is it? I can't find it. But anyway, I'll check that out and we'll make it wonderful one way or the other. So I got set up to give you this big long demo of checking your balance and then ways that you can tighten up your balance by using the lightest pin with the heaviest piston, and you can tighten up on your balance a little bit. So the pistons, they listed them as 894 grams from Diamond, and they're all within 1.1 grams, which, hey, let's be honest, that's wonderful. Okay, so they're within 1.1 grams. So then I weigh all the pins. Well, guess what? These pins, every single one of them weighed 159.9. These things are machined on the inside so good. Pins are always perfect on the outside. That's just part of life with pins. But usually there's quite a bit of weight difference between the pins, and you can tighten up your balance somewhat with that. But you can't do anything with these. They're so perfect that You can't change anything. Wow. Well, so much for that episode that I was going to share with you. I got nothing done. For the last 20 years, nobody's ever changed these instructions that come with the ring packs, but finally they did. There's finally some decent information in here. This is kind of interesting. You know, for 20 years they've been telling us to, it's not on the instructions, but people are telling us to open up the second ring gap an extra 2 thousandths. Something about trapping gases in between the rings or something. That's over our head. We just do what they tell us to do, you know. But this one, it's actually got it in the instructions. Street strip, 4.5 thousandths per inch of bore. And then for the second ring, it's 5 inches, 5 thousandths for each inch of bore. So that's an extra 2 thousandths, and that's what they've been telling us to do for 10 years, but nobody ever changed the instructions. They even give you some RA stuff in here and some NASCAR stuff, and they're saying that NASCAR and Pro Stock is much smoother, but doesn't last very long. Just some interesting information and what to use to file fit the rings. But of course, like we talked about in a previous episode, this engine's 5 over, and your ring stack usually comes 5 over on high performance engines, and you file them to fit. But there's not going to be much to file here. I'll set up over there and we'll measure a couple of them and see how much there is. They're saying they want 20 thousandths on the top ring. So we'll just kind of oh, it looks like it's got at least 15 down there. We'll go 17. Feeling like it's pretty tight. Okay, so it took a 17. So I've only got to file 3 thousandths out. Now let's try a second ring. I don't know where my other ring tool is. Okay, what's that one looking like? Looks a little tighter to me. 14 will go. Eh, 17's kind of tight. Same thing. Except this one's got to come 2 more. It's at 17 too. So that's it. I have to take 5 off of this one and 3 off the other one. You know what time it is now. Time to remove double spiral locks and get these pistons off these rods. I'm not very good at this, but partially because I hate it. I've got my best granny glasses on. Of course, you thought the end was going to be right here by the... No, you knew it wasn't. I don't even know where it is. I got a feeling this is going to be a long day. Wow. You know, I wonder if the other side's any friendlier. It doesn't matter which one I take off, does it? Where in the world is the end on that thing? Wow. Well, I can see this is not going to be a pleasant day, so I won't bore you any longer with this. It's going to be miserable. And you thought I was never going to get those out, but I did. It's unbelievable how tight those pins get in there, isn't it? I don't have any idea why that is. I don't know if it's distorted the housing or what it is. Wow. I won't bore you with this either.